So let's check out a Linux distribution called Elive. What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video and welcome back to the channel. And today I wanted to check out a Linux distro called Elive, and it's a unique and powerful operating system that promises to breathe new life into old computers and deliver a fantastic user interface. So without further ado, let's go on and get right into it. Alright, so I'm at elivecd.org. This is where you can get a copy of Elive. And let me just break down a little information about the distro. Elive is a non-commercial, cost-free Linux distro designed for everyday use. And the cool thing about Elive is if you got an aging computer lying around that's been struggling to keep up with like modern demands, then Elive might be the distro you can use to revitalize that system. Because at the end of the day, it can transfer computers up to 15 years old into high performance machines with a stunning and customizable interface. And if you look at the image in the background, it kind of gives you that 80's vibe. And it kind of reminds me of,
I'm coming to get you. Now it's your turn. Payback.
Now, doesn't that get you pumped? I used to love like all the 80's action movies, and the music that goes along with it is just super dope, and it kind of reminds me of this distro. Now, I went through and installed Elive beforehand before I started recording this video, but what impressed me, right from the start is how fast and easy it is to get up and running. And it only took a couple minutes to install, and I didn't run into any problems. And this distro is like very user friendly. Now, another thing about Elive is it's built on Debian, and we all know Debian, which is one of those renowned and reliable Linux distributions that are out there. So you shouldn't run into many crashes or the system freezing up by installing it on your system. And then a couple other things, Elive is packed with a whole bunch of applications. So whether you're a professional or looking for leisure activities, this distro has a lot that can help you. And so let me give you a little bit of the technical information. So if we scroll down on the main page, there is the technical details, and this will give you everything about the system as far as a technical side. Now, Debian is used for the base system, and it is fully compatible with it. 2500 plus added own packages to make it so unique. Enlightenment as the desktop, and that's one thing that attracted me to this distro. Once I went through Distro Watch just looking for distros to check out, it uses the Enlightenment desktop, and I haven't covered a distro that uses this desktop environment in a while, and I believe that's why the developer used it, because he was looking for a stable system that had that Enlightenment desktop environment, which is, like I said, it's super easy to use, super simple, it's dope. And one cool thing about it, it's got a live mode with its own persistence features, so that's good to go. You can run it from the live system. And another cool thing about it is they created their own installer for it, so it won't look like any other installer you're seeing. And trust me, when I installed it, it ran me for a loop once I started seeing a lot of the options, but we're going to go through it in a couple seconds. But the minimum requirements: 256 megabytes of RAM, 500 megahertz CPU for 128 megabits and 300 megahertz. Check other downloads. So they do have other downloads. And another cool thing about it, they actually have a 32-bit edition. So let's go into the downloads so I can show you guys right fast. So they have a stable version. It says 32-bit, and it says this version includes the best experience with a very polished, beautiful, and featured desktop with options, special effects. So it has Compass in it. That's dope. Integrated for useful daily work. As a downside, the drivers and software are outdated, so check the beta version. So this is the version I'm gonna download. It comes with 32 plus 64, and this one is supposedly a little bit more stable. It says extremely stable, so we'll definitely check that one out. But they do have a retro wave one, which I thought was super cool.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want.
And I just like that retro feel, you know what I'm saying? It looks super cool. But let's go down and hop over to my virtual machine so we can get this thing installed. All right, cool. I wanted to show you guys the boot screen right fast, just so you guys can see what's under the menu. And they have multiple different versions you can load up in here. They got NVIDIA with proprietary drivers, graphical problems, if you're running into that safe mode. And one of the other things I wanted to show you guys right here, they do have a persistence version, so you can run this directly from the live ISO without any issues or whatever. So we're just gonna go right into the installer. It'll boot up the desktop environment and we can get in there and I can walk you guys through the full install. All right, cool. So it booted right into the installer. Well, it's not the installer. This is just setting up the language and all that stuff. You'll see the script when you actually get to it. This is just setting up the language and all that stuff. So mine is English US. So boom, and then your keyboard type. So I'm gonna go down to the bottom. It should be English US. Boom, and then they have a country variant if you need to. I'm gonna just use the normal generic variant of US. So boom. And this is a virtual machine, so it really doesn't matter. And it's gonna say it doesn't see an audio cord, which is cool because they do have some pop-ups that pop up, you know what I'm saying? And this is what you'll set up when you get it installed. You'll see a lot of these settings once you get it installed on your hardware, so you can go through and make these changes. I'm gonna just leave it, I'm gonna leave the defaults. They got the Cairo dot that'll pop up over here, compositor, conky. So just go on and press OK, and boom. So it'll build everything on the desktop. And one thing it's gonna do is keep asking me, because I don't have any audio cord or audio push to this virtual machine, so it's gonna keep trying to play a video that they have on here. See, it says no audio cord detected. Just hit OK. It might pop up a couple times. Yeah, no audio cord found, because it's gonna try to play some music, and I'm kind of glad I don't have anything set up where you guys can hear the audio, because might get a copyright, especially from the video. But if you look down here on the right hand side of the dock, you'll see the Elive installer. That'll kick off the installer for us. And like I said, there we go. It's gonna pop up with this little video. I don't know what music is playing in the background of this. Maybe it's not, you know what I'm saying? So not many people report bugs, so this is just, they're just basically asking you to report bugs. I'm gonna hit no because I'm gonna delete this after here, but this video will go through and basically show you how to use the desktop environment, you know, and all that good stuff. But we're not gonna look at that. I'm gonna show you guys. But here's the Elive installer. And yeah, it's gonna pop up with another retro video, which, you know, it's super cool. It's cool to see, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of got that nostalgic feel or whatever to it. Let's go down and close it though. We don't need it. Boom. And then right here, there is a guided help during installation, but we don't need that. I'm just hit OK and it'll pop up with it. It's not that difficult to follow. And just ignore the pop-up of the terminal. I think I accidentally opened that up. Actually, let's close it. But this is the installer. I know it might be hard for you guys to see. It's not that difficult to do. So we can hit automatic and that'll set it up for us automatically. Now you can resize your window partition to have both systems, and then G-port it. You can use that. GNOME disk, you can use that. That'll allow you to go through it. But we're going to do the automatic. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions and do everything for you. That's the way I want you guys to actually do it. If this is your first time messing with Linux, and this is your first distro you're installing, you want to just use the defaults because it'll give you the best chance of not actually messing up your system, just by following those defaults. Now, you can set a different file system. So they got ext4, and then they got, I don't know what this one is, the RiseFS or RiserFS. I'm gonna use ext4 because I never heard of that before. Maybe I need to look into that, but I'll look into it or whatever. Now, this right here is gonna ask you if you want to enable disk encryption. So I'm gonna hit no because I don't want to set it up. Now it's gonna ask you if you want to create a swap partition, and I'm gonna hit yes, do that, which I don't need it, but I'm gonna do it anyway just for you guys. And so it'll go through and partition our hard drives automatically for us, and I'll be back when it finishes. All right, so what it'll do is go right into installing. It'll ask you a couple more questions throughout this thing. The installation will take some time to complete. In the meantime, consider supporting our work. And I definitely recommend you guys support. That's what I do for all open source software that I show out on the channel. A lot of these guys donate their time to actually develop this software, and if you're using it and you appreciate what you're actually using from these people, then it's best to donate to the project. That'll help them keep the project going, you know, patches, because a lot of times they're using their own personal time to develop and keep this system up and going for all people to use it, you know, because bug fixes pop up. I mean, if you guys are a developer, you know it's a lot involved when it comes to running a distribution, and that's why I never built my own distribution, you know, because of the time that I would have to dedicate in managing it. Now I'm gonna just hit no because I'm not gonna keep this, you know, around. It says the project only survives. It's gonna ask you a couple times. I'm gonna hit no, and let me just read this for you guys. If you can contribute any amount to the project, it would be magnificent. Thanks to people like you, Elive has been able to exist since 2005 without any restrictions, limitations, or annoying ads from hell. Now, Elive offers an amazing system for people across the world, you know, completely free of charge. Your donation is not for us, but it's to keep this magnificent system alive. So yeah, I'm gonna hit no again, but if you guys feel compelled, go on and donate to the project. And I don't get no kickback, so I'm just saying. And I'll be back when it finishes. All right, so this is setting up the host name. I'm gonna just leave the default as Elive Spaceship. I'm gonna press OK. And a couple other things are going to pop up as far as features you can install on the system. So SSH remote access is set up by default, or Samba shares, you can select that. Printer support, you can select that if you need printer, scanner support, Bluetooth support. Disk utility, if you want to get some disk utilities installed, which I'm gonna click that, I'm gonna install that. Block IPs that prevent, so I'm sure this is, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking this is failed to ban. So it might set up based on that SSH port, direct access to the machine using the local network, so you can select that as well. I'm gonna just not select anything else other than those three and keep it moving. And then we have some other featured software you can install. So Software Center, I'll put that on there just to show it. Blender 3D modeling, you can put that on there. Blender XBMC, which used to be Kodi, I believe they changed the name. Yeah. Office application, so LibreOffice, you'll have that installed by default. That's checked. You can uncheck it if you don't want it. GIMP Photoshop equivalent, so GIMP. Inkscape, you can install Thunderbird if you need to, or if you want to, for email as an email client. And then games and emulators, I'm gonna just leave the defaults for right now and just add that Software Center. Press OK, and then right here includes specially selected design and customization. Install suggested extra themes and icons. I'm gonna do that, which is 400 megabytes. Just, you know, remember, if you are using this on a small machine that doesn't have a big hard drive or whatever, just take that into account. Install extra E16 desktop themes. I'm gonna put that as well. And then yeah, we'll just roll with that for right now. I'm gonna press OK. Now your browsers, you can install whatever browser you want, so Google Chromium or Google Chrome. Google Chrome is selected by default. A lot of people like Firefox, which is a little bit more secure. You know, obviously the Google Chromium is good as well. Opera, this one I don't know nothing about. And NetSurf, extremely low resources. So if you want to, you know, keep down the resources, you can install that as well. So just press OK. Boom, right here. Now this will allow you to make the system a little bit smaller or lower on the resources as far as all the things that are installed on here. You can remove translations of unnecessary languages. So if you select the US English, so why you need all these other languages on here? So it's beneficial to actually do that. Uninstall unnecessarily international fonts. So if you don't need it, what's the point of it being there? You know what I'm saying? Uninstall the man page if you want to. I'm gonna leave the defaults, which I like the man pages. I always talk about using man pages, especially when you're using a command line utility. You want to have a man page, that way you can have something to reference, but you can easily do that on the web, you know, by searching, hey, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z with this utility, and it'll pull up the options for you and you can paste them into the terminal. Delete directory. This is the user shared docs directory. That'll save 210 megabytes. Delete the Elive demo files. You can remove that as well. Uninstall dependencies used for compilations, so you can remove that. Uninstall driver compilation features, not recommended, so I wouldn't check that. Uninstall debugging packages, so let's press OK, and we'll just roll with that. Now they do have some form of video call software you can put on here. You can select that: Skype, Zoom, Steam, Dropbox, so cloud storage, you know, all that good stuff. You can select what you want. Press OK, and we wait. So we'll wait for this to finish. That it'll install all those extra packages as well as remove things that were selected, and you'll see a terminal pop up, a terminal window pop up, and it'll be going through and removing certain things from the system. And so I'll be back when it actually finish fully, because I believe the last thing we had to do is set up our user account. So I'll be back for that step. All right, so like I said, the last step is setting up your user account. So just going to put Josh in there, and then Josh for the name. You could put an email address in there for Gravatar, but we're gonna skip that. I'm gonna put in a password, super strong password. Boom. And then right here they have it where you auto log into the desktop, which I actually don't like, so I'm gonna uncheck that. Privilege to install packages, so we want to make sure this account has that privilege, so basically the sudo privileges. And then grant admin, so sudo privileges right there, so you want to select that. And then they do have an option in here where you can set up the account where it never asks you for the password, which is not recommended. You don't want to do that. If somebody get into the system, then they can do whatever they want with the system and then won't ask them for any password. So let's press OK. Boom. And then it'll finish. It's a little bit more to go, but I'll be back again when it finishes. All right, so we are done, and you can stay playing around with the live system if you want to, but what I'm gonna do is go down and restore it, and I'll show you guys the system. All right, let's go down and log into the system right fast. So our account is created and the system is fully, and I wanted to show you guys that was super cool. I thought that was super cool, and we're gonna run into that same issue where the audio cord, which is cool. So you won't see that on your system as long as you got audio on your system. This is a virtual machine, doesn't have audio on it. So, but it's gonna go through, allow you to select certain things that you could change on the system. So like networking, onboard, backup monitoring. So if you want to schedule backups, you know, all that good stuff. And just to go through a few things, it's gonna automatically select Elive Health, News, reconfigurations, enable Wi-Fi, and this is kind of like a self-contained, you know, distro. It does a lot for you, so you don't have to worry about doing much. So Wi-Fi will be there, you know, Elive updates, so it'll update and do all your security fixes for you on the system. Startup sounds, you know, just certain things. You can turn these off or turn certain things off if you don't want it. Your key rings, so networking, so I'm gonna select that. Onboard, flexible onboard keyboard, which we don't need. I'm gonna go down and press OK. That'll finish that out, and then here we go. This is what we selected in the beginning. When we booted up the live ISO, you'll see the compositor, Conky, Cairo doc. And I apologize, I said earlier this is Conky, the pop-up over here. Cairo is the doc that'll show up down there. So then IRC chat, if you want to have that so you could chat, you know, with Elive. It's an Elive chat channel. So let's go and press OK. Boom. It'll finish setting up our system. And while we're doing that, let's go into our preferences and then try to find our screen settings or display. Let's see. There we go. Boom. So you can adjust it by right clicking. Let's go into resolution, and I always do this you know, beforehand. I just want to show you guys how to do it. Do you want to say the configuration? I'm gonna hit no there. Boom. And the audio cord is still trying to find that. Let's go on and close that alert out, but whatever. So you got two menus. Let me show you guys this right fast on the desktop. So if you hit the left click or a left click on the desktop, anywhere on the desktop, it'll pull up the full menu. this is the way Enlightenment works. And then you can go through, look at all the software that's installed. You can open up the terminal, audio software. As you can see, it has a whole lot. I'm happy to see MPV there, Rhythm Box there, Sound Juicer. All those are good programs for music. Development tools. So they have a few things, Vim there. Some educational tools, Elive. So this is all the Elive stuff. So the Elive Center, the Elive Forum, it basically links to everything. Graphics, so dork tables, which is super cool to see. Shotwell, GIMP is in there. So that's, and if you guys can't see it, let me show you guys. But GIMP stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program. So that's what GIMP stands for. So that's GIMP. Networking, so you got Dropbox on here, Google Chrome, HexChat, Nicotine, Transmission, Office. Like I said, we checked that box for Libre, so it installed all Libre, software or Office software but it has Libre on there, ebook editor, a couple utilities in here. So archive manager, backups, all the basic tools that you need for the system. Terminal, Thunderbird or Thunor file manager. That's the file manager for the system. VirtualBox is installed. Search Monkey. Man, it's like so much stuff here. And like I said, it'll automatically give you all the alerts. It'll update the system. So it says right now up at the top right, you'll see it says your Elive has been updated with the latest fixes and features. So it ran an update in the background. But as you see, it's got OBS in here already. VLC. Some of the administrative tools, you got HTOP, just tools to monitor your system, even though you could just look over here at your Conky and it'll give you a lot of information right off the back without leaving the desktop. Then your preferences, kind of like what I went in and changed our desktop settings. And one thing I don't like about it is the menu. It's hard to click on certain, well, let's open it up here. So if we hit up here, let's see, it shouldn't go retarded for me and move around. But anyway, that's the preferences. As you can see, boom, we got all that on there. Desktop size, screen settings, all that good stuff. User management, user switching, if you want to switch users. And then Enlightenment. So you have all your settings for Enlightenment. And so there we go. So settings, the desktop, you can change the background, clean up the desktop if you need to. Themes, you can go through and modify the things right from this menu. Maintenance, about Enlightenment, about the themes, and you can restart from here. Restart Enlightenment. That's not the restart for the system. Now, in order to find the restart, all you have to do is hit the log out. That'll bring up the menu. So I'm gonna go down and close that, but that's how you actually get out the system. And then also you can right click right here, and this is the other menu I was talking about, and this will go straight to the settings. So you got your desktop settings, themes, maintenance, pretty much all your main system settings are right here if you right click. And that's an easier way to get to it versus left clicking, and it'll pull up the full Elive menu. We get you to hit that right click, boom, good to go. You can hit log out. Shut down the system, reboot, log out, all that good stuff. Over here on the left, you'll see it's got the desktops. So you got a whole bunch of different desktops. You can just select them. So let's say you got some open on this one. Let's see, let's open up the terminal. And you can go to a different desktop and do whatever you want. But they have 12 by default, as you can see. So boom, that's down below. So you got a bunch of desktops there as well. Up here at the top as well. So that's super dope, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I really like this retro theme, you know what I'm saying? All the icons kind of match it or whatever. And I'm telling you, I'm hearing some of the 80s music from when I was like a kid looking at this desktop. Like movies like Scarface or what's another one, like Beverly Hills Cop. All those cool movies from back then or whatever, action-packed movies and all that stuff from when I was a kid, kind of brings back the memories. So this, like I said, this is a dope distro. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. All right, thank you guys for tuning in to this Elive Linux review, and I hope you enjoyed discovering this hidden gem of an operating system. And like I said earlier, Elive, you can turn your old computer into a high performance machine with a super cool interface. So go ahead and give Elive a try. I definitely recommend it, and let me know in the comments what you think about it. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more exciting Linux content. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And of course, keep it techie.